Yeah, what's good, man? It's your boy Ray Shumar, and we back with another video. And today it's no regular jump shot video or 2K Pro Am video. I have something special for y'all that I know a lot of you guys are going to be looking into doing, and that's showing out in the 2K League Combine and getting drafted in March. And this video will double and triple your chances of making it happen. Now, before we continue, this video took a lot of time and effort to make, so if you guys would take the time out of your day to leave me a like and possibly even subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Now that we got that all out the way, let's get into this video. Before I tell you guys the best builds to get drafted to the NBA 2K League, there are a couple things you guys need to know to help you guys understand my thought process and why these are the best builds. The biggest thing you guys probably need to know is that there is no speed boosting in the Combine. They're trying to make it 100% sim, basically as close to real life as they can, and that's why there's no more speed boosting in the 2K League Combine. So that changes the whole game, man. So a lot of Playmaker builds might not be even in the conversation of being the best builds to use. Another thing you guys need to know is that you're not going to be able to use all of the animations that you would regularly use on your players. This tweet from the NBA 2K League official Twitter reads, "You will be able to see the badges each archetype has before you commit to one. There will be some level of customization available for animations in the Combine." What this means is you're not going to be able to use your dunk animations, you're not going to be able to use your dribble animations, and you might not even be able to use your jump shot. Definitely not a custom one. Of course, they might give you a couple options, maybe like 4 or 5, but they're not going to be able to let you do what you would regularly do on your own myplayer. So this is a big deal, man. Keep that in mind. The last thing you guys need to know is the preset height and weights for every position. For the point guard, the average height is 6'3" and the weight is 190. For the shooting guard, it's 6'6", 210. For the small forward, it's 6'8", 230. For the power forward, 6'11", 240. And for the center, 7'1", 260. Oh yeah, and you'll also be able to change your archetype during the Combine and see the badges for each archetype before you commit to one. Now that we got that all out of the way, let me go ahead and show you guys the best builds for each position. For all 5 positions, there are 5 possible builds that you can use. For the point guard, the 5 builds you can use are the shot creating slasher, shot creating sharpshooter, slashing playmaker, sharpshooting playmaker, and the playmaking shot creator. If we're talking about 2K online, I'd probably pick the playmaker shot creator or the sharpshooting playmaker, but guess what? We're not talking about regular 2K online. We're talking about the 2K League Combine. And remember what I said earlier, there is 0 speed boosting in the Combine, man. That changes up everything. So a lot of these builds aren't as dominant as they may seem. At the end of the day, it definitely does really just depend on your personal preference. A lot of point guards in 2K now just like to score the ball, and they do that by using screens, spamming dribble moves, speed boosting, do it behind the back, 5 out, ISO. They use a lot of things, man, like that. And you have to remember, in the 2K League Combine, that's not going to be a thing. So a lot of these playmaking archetypes, if you're not one of those pass first, get your teammates open, set your teammates up for easy looks at the point guard, that might be off the table for you. Personally, I like to get my teammates involved, but I definitely also am able to score, and I don't need to be able to speed boost to do so. My game really just relies on the park and pro am when I'm just messing around. It relies on threes, but when I'm being serious playing against competition, which trust me I have, I like to drive and kick. I like to set my teammates up, and I like to drive to the rim and get easy looks, man. I don't like to take threes when I'm versus competition. You want to get the best look that you possibly can, and for the most part, driving to the rim, taking good looks, getting wide open mid-rangers is very effective. And for that reason, out of these 5 builds, I have to pick the shot creating slasher. Now once again, you're not going to have access to all of your dunk animations and dribble moves, but that's why I chose the shot creating slasher. You're going to still be able to slash at a very high rate, make some contested layups, bail your team out, and you'll still be able to set your teammates up if you're smart enough by driving to the rim and kicking out to the open guy. And don't get it twisted, you'll still be able to knock the mid-range down very consistently, especially with, I believe it's silver or gold difficult shots. I'm not too sure what they'll have it on the Combine, but I believe it goes up to gold. And if you take open looks and get a couple corner threes, they're probably going to fall for you too if you know what you're doing. So that is why I have to go with the shot creating slasher. For the shooting guard, the archetypes are playmaking slasher, sharpshooting defender, slashing shot creator, sharpshooting shot creator, and the pure sharp. Now automatically looking at these 5 builds, I'm already able to erase one, and that being the playmaking slasher. And the reason for that is because you're at shooting guard, you're most likely not going to be running the offense, and plus when you do get the ball, you're not going to be able to use that playmaking to drive. Of course, your ball control will be higher than any other archetype in this list, but you have 0 chance of being able to speed boost, and therefore I have to automatically eliminate the playmaking slasher. Now with the rest of these builds is definitely close, and once again it just comes down to personal preference, but personally I would eliminate the pure sharpshooter only because your defensive stats will struggle. And trust me when I say that if you're actually on their list, they're going to be looking at your games and seeing that you're struggling defensively. And let's say you're not struggling defensively, you know, you're comfortable with a pure sharp in his defense. The main reason I'd eliminate it is because you don't know what jump shots you can use, and that's a big part of being a pure sharp. You need to know your shot inside out so you could just green and hit a bunch of shots to help your team out. But if you don't know what jump shot you can use, and let's say they give you a list of jump shots and you're not good with any of them and you've never used them before, that's going to be a struggle for you, and which is why I'd eliminate it. We got 3 archetypes left: the sharpshooting defender, slashing shot creator, and the sharpshooting shot creator. I'd eliminate the sharpshooting defender only because I don't think that you'll be a big enough threat offensively, whereas your defense won't make up for it. Now, once again, I can be wrong, but the reason I think that is because a lot of the stats that they have, a lot of the advanced stats are offensively, and I think that that's what's really going to catch your eye, unless they have some secret stats that we don't know about defensively, because you can't look for help defense. There's no stat for help defense and rotation and stuff like that. And as a sharpshooting defender, that's the main thing you provide. You provide a defensive edge against your opponent. You also have to take into account that you're playing with random, so the point guard might not be hitting you when you're open, which in turn is negating your only offensive strength, which is shooting. The 2 builds left really just come down to personal preference. If you like to drive to the rim and still be able to hit the 3 and hit the mid-ranger consistently, I'd pick a slashing shot creator. If you're more of a shooter, more of an outside scorer, a person who gets buckets outside of the paint but still can drive if they have the lane, I'd pick a sharpshooting shot creator. All of the archetypes for the small forward are the shot creating slasher, sharpshooting shot creator, pure sharpshooter, slashing defender, and the sharpshooting slasher. Out of these 5 archetypes, if you're the best on the sticks, no homo, the best archetype is easily the sharpshooting slasher, and that's because a small forward is usually a role-playing player, and as a sharpshooting slasher, you're able to shoot the ball very consistently. Even though your 3 rating might be like a 73 or 74, you'll have shooting badges to help you out, and trust me when I say that these sharpshooting slashers ain't no joke when they're driving to the rim. Once again, this build is if you're really good on the control sticks, man, and if you have good IQ and you know what you're doing, man, this build is dope. Trust me when I say, in my opinion, this is probably the most effective build because you're versatile. You're able to drive, you're able to shoot the ball, and defensively, like I said, if you know what you're doing, you'll be alright. The builds for the power forwards are the slashing rim protector, rebounding athletic finisher, slashing post scorer, two-way rebounder, and sharpshooting rim protector. Once again, this is really all personal preference. If you like to drive to the rim, if you like, getting your buckets inside the paint, you basically like to dunk the ball, you're inside the paint player, and you still want to be able to play great defense and get higher defensive ratings, I'd pick the slashing rim protector. If you like to get boards at a high rate and still be able to finish at the rim very consistently, I'd pick the rebounding athletic finisher. If you're more of a back to the basket barbecue chicken type of player, the slashing post scorer is amazing because you'll be able to score very consistently and they'll have to worry about you. If you want to be the guy that does all the dirty work on the team and is really a great role player like Draymond Green per se, the two-way rebounders for you. Last but not least, if you like to stretch the floor but still not be a liability on defense at the power forward position, the sharpshooting rim protectors for you. Personally, I'd probably go with the rebounding athletic finisher because that's, I think, would be the most dominant player for me, but it all depends on what you like and what you're good at, and doing your best is really what's going to get you drafted. Now for the center position, the archetypes that are available to use in the 2K League Combine are the post-scoring athletic finisher, slashing rebounder, pure rim protector, slashing stretch 5, and rebounding post scorer. The post-scoring athletic finisher is for anybody who likes to, have their back to the basket and get buckets when need be. He's a scoring archetype, but he can still play defense. Every archetype can play defense, you just got to know how to use them. Slashing rebounder is the same as the power forward. Pure rim protector, very interesting. It's really just a defensive monster. Your defense will be really good and you'll be doing the dirty work for the team, most of it on the defensive end, of course, but once again, it's kind of risky because I'm not too sure if they'll be able to track your help defense and stuff like that, but if they do watch the game, they'll be able to see that. The fourth position is a slashing stretch 5, which I did not expect to see on this list, and the reason for that is because usually you don't think of centers as just pure scorers. He's basically a pure scorer. He's a glorified role player to help you score, and that can be key, man. That can be very valuable, but the one thing you have to take into account is that you're not going to have one of the main things that centers usually have, which is a higher, rebounding rating, defensive rating, stuff like that. But if you know what you're doing, that build could be super deadly. And last but not least, you have the rebounding post scorer, which once again is a back to the basket player, but this time instead of being able to finish really well in the rim, which you'll still be able to finish pretty well, but not to the extent as if you were a post scoring athletic finisher, you'll be able to rebound the ball really well. Honestly, I'd probably go out with a slashing rebounder or a post scoring athletic finisher, and the reason for that is I personally think that I'm good enough to play those positions because I don't feel like I need the rebounding to help me get rebounds. Of course it will help you get more animations, but I feel like rebounding is mainly just boxing out, getting position, and timing when to jump. And of course the animation you get, which of course has to do with your rebounding stats and with what your hustle rebounder badge is at. That's all I got for y'all today, man. If you made it this far through the video, you're a legend. If you made it this far, let me know in the comment section by typing the word banger. But like I said earlier, man, that's all I got for y'all today. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you're new and join the family. It's been your boy Ray Shumar. I'm gonna get up out of here. We out.